what if a race, it was your A race, the most important race of the season for you, and what if that race had a cutoff that was so tight, so scary, that you were actually traumatized by trying to meet that cutoff? Now for me, that's Speedgoat, the Speedgoat 28k. When I first looked at the charts for it, the instructions, the manual, all of that good stuff, it said it had a 10-hour cutoff, that you had to finish the race in 10 hours. And I'm thinking, okay, it's 19 miles, 10 hours, that's like 2 miles an hour, 30-minute mile, piece of cake. I can do that, no problem. But then, like 5 weeks ago or so, I was looking at the aid station chart, and I saw that there was a cutoff at the second aid station, the summit aid station, for 11:10, which is 3 hours and 40 minutes. 3 hours and 40 minutes to do 9.6 miles, I think it is, and to with 4,500-ish feet of elevation gain and about 3,000 feet of elevation loss by the time you get up there. And I thought, oh my gosh, holy crap, I don't even know if I can do that. And so I did. I've had the opportunity to do a couple of pre-runs, maybe 3 pre-runs, I think. And doing those 3 pre-runs, I never hit it. I did not get it. The closest I got was like about 4 hours. The problem with that, though, is that during that 4 hours, I was lost some of the time. I spent time looking at the map. I was unable to figure out some of the directions. I had to do some backtracking. Actually ended up doing a little bit more, like 10.3 miles or something. And that extra 20-ish minutes is like the deal breaker for me. Can I make up for that extra 20 minutes just by myself, just by running as much as I could, walking quick as much as I could? So it's really not horrible for that. I think if I average like a 21, 22 minute mile, I'm okay, which means like 24-ish minutes on all the uphill and then about 16-ish minutes on the downhill. And I experimented with my Garmin. It's the 255, Forerunner 255, I think it is. And I can set like alerts for my speed. Unfortunately, none of them go over 15 minutes. So that's not as useful as I want it to be. There is an aid station at 4.2-ish miles, and that is kind of just like water and gels, I think. I don't know yet. I'll have to. I'm going to the race briefing here this afternoon, packet pickup and race briefing up at Snowbird this afternoon, and I'm going to see if I can get more information on that. I need to be as fast as possible through the aid station. I cannot take any extra time at that aid station. I just have to keep moving. And that's where you have the trade-off between carrying too much, slowing you down, and not carrying enough and have to refill at the aid station. So I've got this Camelback circuit with a Crux bladder, holds 1.5 liters. Now that's actually pretty heavy. So I'm thinking that maybe I will cut it down to a little over a half liter. I know from practice that I need about a little, like close to a liter of water per hour. And if I round that off to 3.5 hours, that's 3.5 liters. That's not going to happen because that's going to be pretty dang heavy. I also have this belt, which has a pocket for my phone. It was on clearance on backcountry.com. And then it's got a pocket back here that holds a bottle actually pretty well. All these bottles fit in here pretty good. So I can hold an extra bottle in that. I can also run with a bottle in my hand and then swap it out as I need to. This bottle is a 20-ounce bottle. The circuit has a really decently sized pocket to allow you to use this kind of a bottle. That a lot of the others, it's a really tight fit and not that pleasant. So I've got 2 of those. And one of these I think I'm going to reserve for the top, for the aid station at the top, because you're allowed to have a crew at that aid station. So I have various gels and carbohydrate mixes that I have to plan out my strategy, again, based on the pre-race briefing this afternoon. And then I have 3 of these flexible flasks. They fit in the pockets really nicely. They fit in all the pockets really nicely. They're kind of wonky to carry. I'm not really happy carrying it, especially if it's not full. So we'll see how that works. You've got mandatory gear. It's a little collapsible cup, which in my opinion is posturing. I don't want to be a jerk, but it's just posturing because, dude, what do? You get up to the aid station and you're like, I shall have a spot of tea. Like a British lord? This is tiny. What use is this? I mean, I would have to fill this like 5 times as fast as possible. So it's kind of useless, but it only weighs like a 1/4 ounce or something. I'll live. So some of my strategy is that if I come up to that aid station so fast I cannot even stop at the table for a second. I have to have enough hydration, enough nutrition to get me to the summit. I have to be able to do the whole 9 miles in one shot when I leave the start line. And that's going to be... how close can I cut myself to dehydration, to malnutrition, so that I don't have quite enough sugar in my system, I don't have quite enough water in my system, but still make it to the top if I don't have time to stop at the aid station. And the thing is, I just don't know right now. I don't know if I'm going to make it to the aid station in time to hang out, refill my bottles, refill whatever nutrition they've got up there, and carry on. That's a strategy that I have to deal with internally here, and I'm going to find out more this afternoon. Okay, and another stress factor that I've got is that the cutoff at the aid station at the top isn't arriving at the aid station, it's leaving the aid station. So I have to get out of there by 11:10 a.m. If I come rolling in at 11:09, I am just having to run right through it. I'm not sure if my wife will have time to hand off my bags or anything. I might be stuck having to just book it through. So we're going to have to work on that transition. Up there, I am planning on having one of these and one of these, I think, as a trade-off, so that we can just like and make it so that I can get to the bottom and back up again. Well, to the bottom of the summit cone. So you go down it and around it and back up. 1,400 feet of loss and gain again. So the second time I'm at that aid station, then I have a little bit more time and flexibility, I think. So it's a matter of planning around all of these unknown variables. And it is kind of stressful, but my strategy is to just keep moving as much as possible, stop as little as possible, carry the absolute minimum I think I can get away with in case I get stuck without being able to stop at either aid station and still survive. Which isn't a given. That part isn't a given at all, is it? If I can achieve all of that and pull it off nicely, that would be the best. If I can afford myself 2 minutes of flexibility at either of the aid stations, I think that would be very pleasant. I think that I can pull it off, that I could do 2 minutes at both of them. So, that's shooting for a target of 11. If I could do, is it 3.5 hours? 3.5 hours up, which, it's not horrible. It's really not horrible to do 9.5 miles in 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Anyway, that is my aid station strategy, my time cutoff strategy. I have to hit that cutoff, and I want to do it gracefully as much as possible. My taper has gone really well, and I think I'm in a good place. Again, the last times, part of the extenuating circumstances of not hitting the cutoff previously was that both of the times I had gone all the way to the summit, I had not taken a rest time. I had, on both weeks that I did that, I had done VO2 max intervals, strides, and 30-30s on both of those weeks. And I think I was pretty beat up. Today I am in a fairly rested state. I have a pretty good stats on Training Peaks, is where I keep track of all that. And I'm excited. I actually am excited. I really want to try to do this in good form, if nothing else. Follow me so that we can stay in touch. Thanks.